It's our final day aboard the Disney Fantasy. Hello there, MamFam. It is our day at sea aboard the Disney Fantasy.
Yeah, nailed it. That was really good. Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah. And we have a very exciting brunch to get to.
But our day started a little bit ago. We were headed to the fitness center when I noticed something interesting on the app. Okay, so we were up to go to the gym in the rainforest room, and I noticed on the app a character that I didn't think would be at sea.
So it is perplexing.
Now we have to go meet them. We must. Oh look, speaking of characters, they're also doing the Royal Gathering, which is a completely free, but you do need to register for a spot meet and greet, where they have like 4 to 5 princesses all lined up. You just need to reserve this in advance, and it's great, especially if you've got someone going to Bippity Boppity Boutique or really wants to meet characters. One line, a bunch of characters, bing bop, boom bop, boom bop, bam. The spots, again, are free, but they go very quickly, so make sure you are booking those as soon as your activity windows open up. Shout out to our travel agent at Be Our Guest Vacation who booked it for us in the past. This video is not sponsored. They didn't pay me to say that, but we genuinely use them to book all of our cruise and experiences. So this is a great one to add on. And what's extra special about this meet and greet is it's located in the Oceaneer Club, which is the kids club, which normally, obviously, we're not allowed into, but they're doing open house right now. So if you ever see a character at one of the kids club locations, look at the age groups allowed to go. And if it says all ages adults, you can go in there too. And honestly, the kids clubs are really cool. Okay, it's Kids Club open house right now, which means we can be in here. But we're, again, here for a specific purpose, but I couldn't help get distracted by the Superhero Academy. Alan, I saw something that may be of particular interest to you.
What? I have a whole bunch of books.
Whose books are those, Alan?
Those are from Dr. Strange.
This is cool. I've never been in here, obviously, for obvious reasons. Look, here's more Easter eggs. Wong wrote that. That's, oh, now on display for the public. That's Guardians at Disney California Adventure. That's Mission Breakout. That's cool. Doctor Strange makes rare appearance. Oh, I'm sorry you missed him. Look at these medallions. These are different characters. Ant-Man, Black Panther, Wasp. I guess that one's Wasp. That one's Ant-Man. Oh, cool. This is awesome. Kids get the coolest stuff. Here's different artifacts. Like there's Wasp. That's definitely the thing, the cube.
Tesseract?
Tesseract, thank you. Black Panther. I mean, at least it's probably in there. I know it's smaller than that, but
It's in there.
this is awesome. Okay, now we gotta go get in line to meet the character. Okay, now we're in line to meet the character, but we're in line in Pixie Hollow, which is very cute as well. Look at all the fairy houses. Look at the pixie tree. You can see the different fairies in their houses. This is amazing. Where's Tinkerbell? Where's her house? I think that's Terrence.
Here in the Star Wars section is absolutely packed with fun little Easter eggs and nods, but also I want to draw your attention to this. This is a Command Post Starfighter training simulator. That's freaking incredible, and you have 2 Republic helmets next to it that you'll be wearing as you were flying those delightful X-Wings. Oh, and here you have a rotating description of the different types of ships that are found across the galaxy. We just went from an A-Wing to the well-known Millennium Falcon.
Hello, C-3PO. How are you?
Humans are such curious creatures, so attached to your communication devices, yet you only use them to contact others on the same planet.
Yeah, how can I talk to your planet?
I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Oh, okay, top secret. Where's
I do not believe you are authorized to receive that information.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't give it to me. I wouldn't.
Cool.
Well, that was random.
Yep. I liked it, though.
I liked it too. Yeah, if you see a meet and greet that's in the kids club, look and see the ages, because it could be all ages like that, and like, it was mostly adults, I'm not gonna lie to you.
And mostly people dressed in Star Wars.
Yeah, they were like, did they bring that? Did they know he was gonna be here? Yeah, that's a Bizarro character that I did not know you could meet on a cruise ship, but I'm glad I did. I almost called him R2-D2, so narrowly avoided that faux pas. And then we went to the fitness center and the rainforest room and got smoothies, which is my new favorite thing to do aboard a ship.
I agree wholeheartedly. Shout out to Jamil.
Yes.
He's incredible.
And now, as Alan said, we have brunch somewhere we've never had brunch before on Disney Cruise, but this is not brunch attire.
That's better.
Let's go. Today we are headed to have brunch at Remy, which we have never had before. We've done dinner there on the Dream. We've done brunch at Enchanté, which is a similar restaurant on the Wish, but we've never done brunch at Remy, so I'm super, super excited. Remy is an adults-only restaurant that is the fanciest restaurant aboard the Disney Fantasy, and if the name didn't give it away, it is French and inspired by ratatouille. Now, because of this, it does have a dress code. Gentlemen need to be wearing pants, button-downs, dress shoes. Ladies, I typically wear some kind of dress. You could wear dress pants. Basically, no swimsuits, no athletic wear, no hats, no shorts, no sandals for the gentlemen. Just zhuzh up a little bit, and I'm super excited to get in there for brunch. Remy is stunningly beautiful during the day with a gorgeous ocean view, and while it is a fine dining restaurant, there are cute little touches to Remy and Ratatouille throughout. For starters, as you walk in, there is a glass Remy, the chef, welcoming you, sitting above a bottle of Ratatouille wine, and then throughout the restaurant, you're going to see little outlines of his cute little rat face. You can see it in the wall, in the wooden chairs, the backing of the cloth chairs, the iron work in the private dining room, the mirror of the private dining room, the iron work leading up to a couple more chairs, and my favorite detail, Remy and Emile in another mirror. For the record, I like this mirror because I believe Alan and I are Remy and Emile. Alan is Remy, a real appreciation and understanding of food and cuisine and flavors and loves to cook, and me, Emile, just happy to be there and eat cheese.
Remy's brunch menu is prix-fixe and costs $80 per person and consists of 6 individual courses. Additionally, everybody begins their meal with a complimentary glass of champagne. Ours was a Pommeret Brut, and it was a great way to start the meal. You can also add the champagne experience for an additional $40 per person, which offers you a 2-ounce pour of champagne every 2 courses, or the champagne journey for an additional $170 a person, and that gives you a pour of champagne for every single course in your meal. And you know us, we're going big or going home. That's what we did. I would also like to note that on the 5th course, the beef en croûte, there is the option to add Miyazaki Japanese A5 Wagyu beef as a pairing, as an upgrade to that course, and yeah, I did that. The menu at Remy is inspired by 2 different chefs. You have Chef Arnaud Lelamont, which is a 3-star Michelin chef from France, and Chef Scott Hunnell, who is a 1-star Michelin chef who is most known for providing the menu for Victoria and Albert's at the Grand Floridian. There are 2 different dinner menus at Remy, one representing each chef. However, the 2 of them work together for brunch.
Your meal here starts with the most incredible bread, which was made by French master baker Frédéric Pichard, who makes the starter and then ships it to the Disney Cruise Line ships who bake it on board. This sourdough is crusty on the outside but light and fluffy on the inside, and at brunch it is served with 3 different butters. A red pepper butter, an unsalted butter made in France from the milk of multiple different farms that come together, and then a nori, which is a seaweed butter. And then you can also add a little sea salt to it. I honestly think this may be the best bread I've ever had. They have it Enchanté as well, and it is so incredibly decadent. It is just so technically perfect as far as bread goes. It is so delicious, and the butter is unbelievable. It is hard for me not to just fill up on bread when I go to this meal.
The first course is an amuse-bouche, a gift from the chef, with a base of toasted macadamia nuts, topped with caramel, and then a whipped foie gras over top. We were recommended by Roberta, who served us when we went to Remy a year ago on the Dream, and now served us again, to go all the way to the bottom of this dish, get some of the macadamia nut and caramel along with the foie gras, and taste it all together. This was a wild eating experience. I love the toasted nuttiness of the macadamia nut, the sweetness of the caramel, and the nuttiness of that caramel paired with the rich fattiness of the foie gras. I've got to be honest, I never thought any of this would go together, but it worked, and it was so light and delicious.
Next up, the lobster course, which was served kind of like a lobster salad. There was jicama, the root vegetable, at the base, and then diced lobster with a frisee salad, and then it's served with a mango wrapped around it and a mango vanilla puree on the side. I often say I'm not a lobster girly, but Remy now twice has proven that not to be the case. This was incredibly light, and they let that main lobster be the star, which has a natural light sweetness and butteriness to it. Had this parsley fresh salad on top of it. Mango added the perfect amount of sweetness to it, along with that vanilla sauce. Jicama added a little bit of texture change. This was the best lobster dish I've maybe ever had. And I said that the last time I ate at Remy, so I don't know what they're doing in there. The first champagne pour was a Blanc de Blanc, meaning a champagne made exclusively of Chardonnay grapes. It was light, crisp, little buttery, paired perfectly with the lobster.
Our third course was the tomato course, or as it was labeled on the menu, tomato confit and marigold. This truly was a love letter to tomatoes. It was tomato baked and stuffed with olive with a side of marigold cream, set atop a bed of a red pepper butter reduction made with paprika, a side of tomato focaccia, and a chilled tomato and vegetable water that included celery and Tabasco, which I have to tell you, I didn't necessarily love it the last time I had this, but this time it was incredible because I was able to taste that celery and Tabasco coming through, that light spiciness. It was such a deep and rich flavor from the roasted tomato, the olive coming through to add a little bit of saltiness and brininess. The marigold cream gave a little bit of floral sweetness on the side, but I've got to be honest, that focaccia is the star of the show. It was flaky and light and buttery with that tomato flavor coming through, a little bit of oregano as well, and then you dipped it into that red pepper butter reduction, and it honestly, as close to an out-of-body experience as I'm going to have. Our second champagne pour was the Krug Grand Cuvée, one of the oldest champagne makers in the country of France, and it was very full-bodied, almost a little bit caramelly in taste, and very fruity.
The next course was the toothfish, which is a white fish caught near Australia in very deep water, so it's hard to catch him, but it was worth it. This was served with sticky rice infused with bamboo juice, sambal, and mushroom on the side with a mushroom gastrique. Listen, I'll say it again. I'm not always a seafood girly, and I have now realized it's because it's very easy to have horribly prepared fish. But again, not a concern at Remy. I truly want to propose marriage to the crisp exterior of this fish specifically. It had an incredible crunch, not fishy at all. The rice was nice and sticky, slightly sweet. Love the umami flavor of the mushroom sauce and a little bit of heat from the sambal. I'm going to say it again, this is probably the best fish dish I've ever had. And the fish was paired with the most famous champagne in the world, Dom Perignon. It's one of those things where you hear about it and you think it can't possibly be worth all the hype, but now having had the privilege of trying it a few times, specifically on Disney cruise ships, it absolutely is. It has such a unique flavor. It is so tasty and delicious, paired perfectly with the fish. Honestly, I feel spoiled and incredibly grateful to be enjoying this.
The next course was the beef course, where I got my upgrade of the Miyazaki Japanese A5 Wagyu beef paired alongside American Wagyu. So we had Miyazaki on the left, American on the right, with a gratin potato and a vegetable confit on top, served with an oxtail jus. Listen, I know that there are a whole host of incredible beef farmers in the U.S., and Angus beef will always have a place in my heart, but Japanese A5 Wagyu just hits different. It's like a glorious meat butter that just melts in your mouth and is so incredibly rich and decadent, but isn't super heavy and weighing heavy on your stomach. It's hard to describe. And the oxtail jus was just such an incredible pairing that added a very unique depth of flavor that's so specific to oxtail, it being so rich and meaty and hearty. It somehow enhanced both of the meats. Oh, and also the gratin on the side was a perfect pairing, very crisp on the top, garlic and parsley flavors throughout. I was speechless. And then, of course, I got to become a Jedi because we had the Skywalker Pinot Noir wine on the side. A very classic Pinot Noir, very smooth, lightly fruity, paired perfectly with these meats.
Now listen, Alan may have gotten the Wagyu, which he of course shared with me, and it is, of course, incredibly delicious. But I have to say, this bite I had over on the standard beef dish, honestly, I'm breaking up my engagement with the fish to get married to this beef. Because this was American Wagyu done Wellington style, so you had a ring of mushroom and then a ring of puff pastry, and it was served with the creamiest, dreamiest mashed potatoes I have ever had. They were so fluffy and light, I couldn't even believe they were potatoes to begin with. The bite of all of these things come together with that incredible meat, that earthy mushroom, the flaky puff pastry. Unreal. Honestly, one of the best bites I've ever put in my mouth. And for our champagne, we were given a Perry-Julie Belle Espont Rosé, which I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, served in an incredibly beautiful bottle. This rosé is made from a lot of Pinot Noir grapes, which makes sense because you normally pair beef with red wine, so it made sense they'd bring a rosé in here, and it was perfect. It held up to the delicious meat. This was my favorite course of the brunch.
And then I needed a coffee, and Roberto was there right on time to offer it to us, so I got myself a double espresso, while Molly picked up an Americano with some cream. And on the side, Roberto brought us a pastry that was just flour that had been cooked on the outside with vanilla, rum, and honey. And this was a very unique texture. The outside was very crisp from the caramelization of all of those three things, and the inside was almost like ooey and gooey with that flour mixture. Paired with coffee, this was a nice palate cleanser to get prepped for our final item.
Big shout out to Roberto for bringing those coffees out so I could cement my status as a 3-drink girly as we went into our dessert course, the pomme, which is French for apple. This was a house-made shortbread topped with 7 thin layers of Fuji apple that had sugar in between, cooked so it would all caramelize, and then on the side it was served with house-made Tahitian vanilla ice cream and Japanese buckwheat to add a little bit of crunch. It was suggested that we pour the ice cream on top of the apple dish, which is exactly what I did. Decadent, perfect. The shortbread was phenomenal. You could taste all of that butter in there, and then the apple, naturally sweet, creamy, dreamy, rich vanilla ice cream. This was like the fanciest apple pie you can imagine. Overall, a perfect way to end this meal. And of course, we had a champagne pairing with that final course as well. And that was the Bollinger Cuvée, which has a stamp on the bottle to prove that it's been approved by the Queen of England. And you know what? Me too. It was delicious and crisp, paired perfectly with these apples. Overall, an incredible experience, incredible service. The food was amazing. Each course was better than the last. Honestly, one of the best meals I've ever had.
Okay, well, that was in a word, incredible.
I am so full.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortably full.
Yep.
But I think across both signature French restaurants on the Disney Cruise Line, we've now done brunch and dinner at both Remy and Enchanté.
Yeah.
That was my favorite meal.
I think that's fair, but you know what I need to do right now?
Yeah.
Not be still. I need to go move some.
Yeah, we're going to change quick and then go walk around or do something physical because tummies are full.
Yeah. After that very big and rich meal, I don't think 2 shots of espresso are going to do it for me, so we're going to get another cup of coffee, this time from Vista Cafe, which is one of the coffee shops on board. You might remember we went to the Cove Cafe on one of our earlier videos on the fantasy, but that's in the adults only section. Vista Cafe is here on deck 4 and open to everyone. Just like the Cove Cafe, if you do decide to pick up a coffee or a beverage here, it is going to be an additional charge, but if you wanted to pick up any of these treats within the treat case, these are included with your trip on the cruise.
Also, shout out to the wonderful baristas who made this coffee because it's a delicious latte. And he put the cutest Mickey and Minnie design on it, and 2 people in front of me, he put designs on theirs, and they didn't even like it. They didn't even look. They just put their lids right on. That's part of the magic of the coffee. As an update, we are going to play shuffleboard, which neither of us have played before, so it should go well. Alan is currently Googling how to play. There's also, up on the upper deck, there's mini golf and basketball or outdoor experiences, but we figured we'd try this out. Also, one thing a lot of people love about this ship and the Dream is this beautiful outdoor promenade area, which does make me feel like I'm on the Titanic a little bit. Except for the fact that there's enough lifeboats for everybody just hanging right above us in that beautiful Mickey shoe blue, in that beautiful Mickey shoe yellow. Do you know how to play yet? I got a stick. I think it's called a tang.
Just to start the game, the play alternates between black and yellow.
Okay.
Players can knock the opponent's discs.
I think the rules are literally on the wall over there, Alan. I quite literally think Mickey has provided the rules for us. Yeah.
Stand by the 10 offline. Shuffle so you can go where the player may not. Puck must completely be in the area for the score. Lands on the line, no points given. In the event of a tie, player shoots one more time until the tie is broken. Points are deducted. Oh, okay, cool.
All right, here we go. This will go well. I didn't understand any of that, but I'm going to hope Alan knows what's happening. Not anything but off, right?
Anything but off, yeah.
Okay, you got it.
I don't.
You don't got it.
I need more oomph.
You didn't got it.
I need more oomph.
That was so good, but it still didn't get you any points.
We're learning. Are you doing a wind-up? A slight improvement. We're setting the coffee down now.
Serious.
Didn't move anywhere. You didn't whip.
A few moments later.
At this point, I just want somebody to score a point.
Somebody get a point.
I'm in the negative. It's gotta be you. You did it.
I'm incredible. I'm incredible. I'm an athlete.
I'm at 8.
It's on the line.
No.
Mickey said no lines.
No. No. All right, played some shuffleboard. What a dumb game. That is.
I
Not
won.
because I'm back. All right, once.
And we tied. And we tied at -0 a lot of times.
You robbed victory from me. I had 2 beautiful 10 shots.
Man, I swear.
That will never make the cut because it wasn't filmed.
No, I was just too busy scooting yours out of the way.
All right, not our game.
Not your game.
All right, fine. Mini golf.
Goofy! How are you? I'm doing great, thank you. We were just playing some shuffleboard. We were not good at it. Are you good at it? Yeah, I bet you are. I feel like you're a professional athlete. I've seen you play some sports before.
He's still learning. He does like his basketball.
I've seen you play. You're excellent. Yeah. Goofy, how should we pose for a picture?
Oh, there we go.
All right, well, we met Goofy, and now we are appropriately on Goofy's golf deck here on, Goofy's sports deck, playing Goofy's golf. All right, Molly is up first here on hole 1. Here is her goofball. That's not what I called it. That is what the game calls it. And you're hitting from Max's spot? Uh-huh. That feels fair. You tell me, what are we betting on this game?
Last time on the Dream Loser had to ride the Aqueduct, it was me. So I'm not willing to put that on the line again. I don't know. Loser, the winner gets to pick the loser's drink when we go get drinks next.
Okay.
Okay.
Feels a little unfair. All right, it's a good first shot. After 1, I am at 2 strokes. Molly is at 3. Had a little bit of struggle on the finish there. Went for a one-handed tap in. Didn't really work for her.
I'm not taking this seriously.
You got this. Nice. Good job. Are you stretching right now? Okay, cool. Now you have to do it through the eyeball from Max's spot, which is totally fair.
Oh, Max is right here.
The X marks the spot. Okay. All right. That's enough out of you. All tied up after 2. Had a little bit of a mishap on tapping it in on that second hole. Molly again still using the Max one.
No one said we couldn't.
It's for children. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nearly threw mine overboard.
He's on fire. The tie continues.
This is ridiculous. It's a straight shot.
You could use the Max hole too.
Molly, I operate with
Smarter, not
integrity
harder. Smarter,
here.
not harder, baby.
All right, sure. This one is 6 one way, half dozen the other, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. 6 baskets, dozen baskets.
2. Oh, we whiffed it. We might have 3 here. Oh no. Here we go, we got this. You got the smalls. Oh, no, we whiffed it again. We might have 4. Oh no. Oh no. All right, that was 4 shots for Molly. So that's 3, 2, 2, so that's 5, and then plus 4 is 9. Mine's 3, 2, 2, 2, so I'm at 7. Going for the glory. All right. Good try, good smack.
I was using Sharpay to motivate me.
Oh, good motivation.
The play. That didn't work. I do like that this math book right here is written by Professor Ludwig von Drake.
We're really sort of in the rough here, and Molly's using the continuous stroke action I see to slowly, well, that's, okay, well now that's officially three strokes. Nah, it's a 3. Last hole, Molly is at 21, Alan is at 16. 21, and Alan is at 16. Did a little bit of a round the world action over there. Hole in 1 is what we're going for here. Oh, and she completes it at 22. I'm at 16, just gotta hit it in 1. You're kidding me.
Is this gonna be my comeback?
It might be. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That last lip is a lip of evil.
You still won.
I did, but what the hell, man?
At very
At what
close.
cost?
I almost made a comeback. Don't call it
And
a
by
comeback.
you almost making a comeback, you mean me nearly biffing it?
Yeah, well, all right. When we go get drinks tonight, you can choose my drink.
Okay.
Be kind.
I will. And speaking of dinner, let's go get ready. All right, that's better. Ready to start our evening.
Yes, tonight we have another show to see. We've got dinner, but first, drinks.
And for our drinks to kick off the evening, we are headed to Bon Voyage, which is the lobby bar here on the 3rd floor. And, you know, since I get to choose the drinks, early on this cruise, I saw on the menu a very interesting looking item, and I think that I'm going to order it. It's a shared drinking experience. It's a sort of a shared beverage item, and I think it's going to be tasty. On the menu, it is called the Porthole, and as a select your experience, you can either choose rum, bourbon, or gin, and it is a, quote, endless infusion for two. So it's an infused liquor with a series of what looks to be citrus and botanicals, if what I'm seeing there behind the bar gives any indication. And we have heard from the bartender Vladimir that this is a very interesting thing to try. And I am very much looking forward to using my choice for this. And here it is. It has been prepared for us after having the vermouth and the bourbon, the Blanton's bourbon, poured into the infuser that looks a little bit like a porthole that's filled with oranges, cherries, and strawberries. And it sat for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then it was poured into these glasses that have bourbon brown sugar rims. I am so excited to give this a try. I love that it's an experience for two as well. So let's get into it. Oh, wow. I can really taste the strawberry. I love that.
The Bland's is smoky. Something in it is smoky. I think it's the Bland's, but it's got a little bit of smokiness to it. And then it's got this fresh, fruity flavor, but not sickly artificial sweet because it's literally fruit. It's the bitters making it smoky.
Yeah, 100%. And then the bourbon sugar on the outside gives it just a little bit more of that emphasis of flavor.
They said if we wanted to, we could top it with a hard seltzer, but if it wasn't sweet enough, but this is perfect.
Perfect level of sweetness.
I have to thank you for choosing this because I was going to go a much more diabolical route had I won and was going to choose your drink.
I did not know the stakes were that high.
You know, it's just a little bit of chaos thrown in is never a bad thing.
That's an incredible infused beverage. I think I'd be curious to try the others that are available. So it's both rum and gin or the other two. Maybe more gin than rum. But this is a really cool concept and one of the most unique drink concepts that I've seen across the Disney Cruise Line. It's so neat.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Next up, we are headed to the Tube in the Adult District Europa to tackle some Disney Cruise Line trivia. I don't know that we've ever gone to Cruise Line trivia, maybe once, but I honestly can't remember. And I feel like considering this is our final ship, we should see if we have learned anything.
Friends, if you're considering to put Monica Blue, don't put that. It's not the answer, okay? Character, keyword. Keep that in mind. It's number 6. I've been on the Dream. It's one of my favorite ships, hands down. The Dream.
How did Cruise Line trivia go? All it took was like 12 cruises.
And that's totally worth it for this medal.
It is plastic rubber metal. Nailed it. That was a pretty tough trivia.
Yeah,
I love trivia on the Disney ships. They have like 10 to 15 plus a day covering all sorts of things. Disney topics, general movies, music, sports, all kinds of stuff. So one of my favorite activities, and I can feel good about this. But now we're headed to the Walt Disney Theater.
Up next, we are headed to Believe, which is the final show here on the Fantasy, and it is a montage show we have seen before that is on the sister ship, The Dream. Disney Believe is personally my favorite of the montage-style shows, so in line with things like Golden Mickey's or Disney Sees the Adventure, but this one, it really does stand above, and I can't wait to see it.
What will your pleasure be? Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never had a friend like me. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease.
The circle of life. You see, folks, anything is possible if you just believe.
Well, that's an incredible show. A little word of advice, though. If you have any, what was it, Molly?
daddy issues.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It should be illegal for them to play Baby Mine because immediately waterworks. Immediately.
Yeah.
And then they're like, here's a montage of all the parent-child moments in Disney movies, and it's like Mulan and her father, and then Dumbo and his mother, and then Mufasa and Simba, and it's like, wow, Disney, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They're throwing haymakers, is what they're doing right into your soul.
They know what they're doing, and there's a reason it's the last night of this cruise, but
Yep.
I'm with you. That's my favorite of the montage-style shows. They use so much good music that you don't see super often anymore, like Bare Necessities, Little Mary Poppins, Pocahontas. I loved it.
It's great. But now it's almost time for dinner.
But we'll find something to do before that.
Yeah.
Maybe a drink, maybe a character, who's to say?
Who's to say? All right, well, what we ended up doing was listening to some live music and going around and saying thank you to some of our favorite crew members. And now we are headed off to dinner.
Dinner tonight is at the Enchanted Garden, which is one of the rotational dining restaurants. As we've mentioned in many a cruise video before, the way Disney does dinners is you have a rotation. You'll be assigned to a restaurant. You're either going to be the first seating of dinner at 6 or the second at 8:15. We always select the second seating because typically families with younger kids go to the first one, so we opt for the second one. Additionally, for those productions in the theater, they do 2 of those a night too, so you either are slated to go to the first show, which we did second dinner, or vice versa. Enchanted Garden is, as it would imagine, a lovely garden-themed restaurant available here and on the Disney Dream. One dish in particular really tickled my taste buds, so I hope that remains true tonight.
Enchanted Garden is themed, well, like a garden, specifically the gardens of Versailles. And we were informed that as you watch the light fixtures that look like flower buds and petals, they will open more and more as the evening progresses, changing colors as well. I'm just going to take their word for that color bit. The menu begins with a series of specialty cocktails and then appetizers like the cucumber garden roll and the ahi tuna avocado tower, before moving into a selection of soups and salads like the heirloom tomato soup and the romaine wedge salad. The main courses are comprised of mostly seafood like the pan-seared sea bass and the caramelized sea scallops, but they also have a nice slow roasted prime rib. There are also a selection of vegetarian options and some lighter notes if you would like. The bread service for this meal was multigrain and country currant rolls with a chickpea garlic puree. This tasted just fine. These were nice yeasty dinner rolls with a nice sweetness from the currant, and you dipped it into effectively garlic hummus. And I am never going to complain about garlic hummus. I think this is a fine bread service and one of the more unique dinner roll options.
While in the past I have enjoyed the Applewood smoked bacon wild mushroom tart, I decided to mix it up with the North Atlantic lobster ravioli. This is 2 big pieces of lobster ravioli made with roasted garlic and sweet basil and served in a tomato broth. This had a strong lobster flavor and a decent amount of lobster within those raviolis. It had a nice light tomato flavor from the bisque. Personally, I wish it had cheese involved, but overall a pretty good dish for lobster fans. And if you're not a lobster fan, I can recommend that bacon tart, which is a nice quiche-like option.
I went for my tried and true ahi tuna and avocado tower with crispy noodles and a wasabi dressing. There's a pretty good amount of fresh tuna, didn't taste fishy at all, a nice saltiness from the soy sauce they added on top, and the avocado provided a little bit of richness and textural contrast alongside those crispy noodles. One thing that I wish they added was a little bit of wasabi, and I desperately wanted more cilantro. But overall, this was the best dish that I would have at Enchanted Garden.
For salad, Alan and I both went for the romaine wedge, which is a fresh, crisp romaine topped with a creamy Romano dressing and house-made spiced croutons. Honestly, I love a wedge salad. This one, the dressing kind of tasted like French and Caesar or Thousand Island, had a beautiful baby, nice fresh tomato and lettuce. The croutons were clearly house-made. My only note, I wish it had more cheese, but overall, a pretty solid wedge.
For my main course, I chose the caramelized sea scallops with roasted asparagus, sun-dried tomato couscous, caramelized leeks, and a red wine veal jus. These were fine sea scallops, especially after I had just had some delicious sea scallops last night at Palo. But I will say, cooked nicely, very tender. The sear on the exterior was inconsistent, but on the ones that had the nicer sear, it was a great crust. The crispy leeks were amazing. I love that nice bright flavor change. And that red wine veal jus was incredible. I could honestly bathe in it, and I wish I had more to dip my scallops into.
And the dish I was eagerly looking forward to is the pan-seared sea bass, which comes with a fava bean and pea risotto, sliced fennel, and a dill chive Riesling wine sauce. Honestly, this dish is even better than I remembered. The sea bass just falls apart, nice flaky, light white fish, not fishy tasting at all. I love the crunch from the fennel and that distinct dill flavor. There's nice citrus in the sauce, creamy risotto. This is honestly one of the best dishes you can get on Disney Cruise Line in the rotational dining restaurants. A+ meal. Now, as far as the dessert menu goes, they do have specialty coffees and liqueurs you can add on for an additional cost. And then your dessert menu has things like a chocolate garden torte, orange yogurt cake, and a lemon raspberry mousse bomb. In the past, I have enjoyed the Southern style pecan tart, although it is a little bit too sickly sweet for my taste. And as past Molly and Alan are about to tell you, we decided to skip dessert for a good reason. Look at this vase. It has birds on it from Snow White. They're cute.
You heard it here first, folks. Molly loves birds. Everything you've heard up until now is a lie. She loves birds.
I think I am finding I like cute little birds like those.
And?
I like birds of prey. I don't like those white jerks that live at the parks with the pointy beaks that want to steal your snacks.
If you had just stopped at white jerks, that'd have been wild.
I don't like those either.
Well, that dinner... How do we recover from this? Wowzers! Well, that dinner was delightful. I think Enchanted Garden is my favorite of the rotational dinings here on this ship, but we are not getting dessert.
No, the dessert is fine, and we realized today that we have yet to go to the ice cream shop on board, so we have decided instead of doing the dessert at Enchanted Garden, we're gonna do dessert upstairs on the pool deck. Oh, Goofy. My buddy. What's going on here? Anyway, Sweet on You is the ice cream and treat shop here on board. Now, everything in here is an additional cost, but they've got over 30 flavors of ice cream and gelato, as well as a bakery case full of treats. And as you can see, this one is themed to your classic characters, Mickey and Minnie adorably sharing a sundae over here. You've got Donald and Daisy working hard in the back with my girl Clarabelle. And again, I must unfortunately point out Goofy to you. But let's take a look at what they have. As far as the ice cream and gelato goes, you can get it in a cone, a cup, a signature sundae. Delighted to see that they've got flavored cones, very exciting, as well as milkshakes. And then as far as additional desserts go, you've got some very cutely decorated ones, including, I love the Captain Mickey and Minnie design on some of these treats. You've got some macarons, cupcakes. Look at that cutie unicorn one. More macarons, carrot cake brownie, Captain Mickey whoopie cookies, and more delicious treats. But I think both of us are gonna go for ice cream or gelato in one of those cones. Cheers. What'd you get? Sorry, I asked that at the literal worst time.
Yeah, cookies and cream, gelato, and a dark chocolate cone. What about you?
I got raspberry sorbet and a birthday cake cone.
Light, creamy, real chunks of cream-filled chocolate wafer.
Wink. The raspberry sorbet is delicious. It doesn't taste artificially flavored. It's nice and light. And then I love the whimsy of the different flavored cones.
That dark chocolate cone, though, truly dark chocolate.
Mine mostly just tastes like a waffle cone, but there's sprinkles in it, and that's fun. Honestly, the all you care to enjoy included ice cream on the pool deck is more than enough for me, but it is fun to go inside these stores and see what kind of flavors they have.
And finally, we are headed to the See Ya Real Soon sea, as in the ocean, sea. I love a good pun. And this is where there is a final goodbye from all of the characters and entertainment crew to you, the guests. But it also includes a sort of unannounced but understood character palooza where you have about 15 minutes to meet as many characters you might have missed and want to meet during your time on the cruise. And our goal is to meet some of the ducks, so wish us luck.
Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
brings us to the end of another Disney cruise.
And the completion of our gauntlet of sailing on all 6 Disney Cruise Line ships.
We'll have to update that when the Destiny eventually
And the
comes out.
Adventure.
And the Adventure.
But for now,
We've got them.
the gauntlet is completed, and yes, we will do some kind of video comparing, ranking, throwdown. We haven't quite figured out the best way we want to do it
noodling
yet,
on
but
it.
we have some fun ideas, so hopefully you will come back for that. But for now, let's think exclusively about the fantasy, what we liked, didn't like, etc.
Exactly. What do you think was your favorite part of this ship? Understanding that it's Sister Ship the Dream we've been on twice now, what do you think your favorite part of like this boat is specifically?
I think Europa is awesome.
Agreed. Co-signed.
Europa is a real highlight for me as an adult who likes nightlife, who likes cocktails, who likes immersive theming. It's not Disney immersive theming, but it is incredible. It is so fun, that whole area. I loved that there was a completely different vibe in each of the different lounges, and it really feels like they were like, okay, adults, we're gonna make somewhere really fun for you.
I'm gonna co-sign that. Second for me has gotta be the entertainment. Not only the character performers who were out in force around the ship throughout the entire cruise, but also the shows. You've not only got Believe, which the fantasy shares with the Dream, but also you have Frozen.
Frozen's great.
Frozen's a fantastic show. I just love the puppets. I love the performance. I don't always love the standalone story shows, but Frozen crushes it.
Continuing with the theme of the adult areas, the pool deck on these ships is awesome. The main pool deck is pretty similar to all of the Disney cruise ships, but the adult pool area is great. It is big. There are multiple water locations, multiple bars. I like that Sense of Spa is right off the pool deck. Continuing with the adult theme, Sense of Spa Rainforest Room. Bangs.
It's so good.
Bangs. There's nothing quite like being in that hot tub overlooking the ocean, and today while we were at sea, being able to hear the waves, this rainforest room is wonderful.
It's pretty peak. There are a couple of downsides. At least for me, the rotational dining is pretty weak. Animator's Palette, not my favorite show for Animator's Palette. I much prefer the Mickey Phantasmic that you're going to find on the Magic and the Wonder. Royal Court is...
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And Enchanted Garden is the best of the 3.
I have to agree with that. I will say one thing that can be a con on all Disney cruise ships is the fact that when you're at the rotational dining, you are often paired with other people that you don't know, especially if you're a smaller number party. Now, Disney does try and pair you with similar style groups. So, for example, we are often paired with other couples that don't have kids that are around our same age. When I went with my mom a few weeks ago, I was paired with another adult mother-daughter couple. But that is a con for some people if you don't want to make small talk, if you don't want to spend your dinners talking to people you don't know. It's just something that could happen when you're on the ship.
If you're a bit of an introvert, like me.
One thing I will say though, the adult dining on the ship is wonderful. Obviously Palo is incredible, but I really, really enjoy Remy. Again, the brunch we had this morning was my favorite brunch that we've had at that signature French restaurant across the fleet. So
it was so, I was blown away by the food at Remy this morning.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, all my pros are for adults, so I'm like, if you're an adult, come on this ship.
I mean, but that is our perspective though, right?
Yeah.
So
we are two, child-free millennials who love Disney and, drinking and eating. So that's the vibe we're gonna bring to you.
Hey,
and
also,
this ship's great for all those things.
We did get to go see the Oceaneers Club today, and that was also really cool.
It was
As
great.
2 grown children, your kids are gonna love that.
Yeah, that's so true.
But again, I think the most important thing that we need to acknowledge is that none of this is possible without the incredible crew that work across the functions here on the cruise ship. They are phenomenal. They are what make the magic happen. And we have had some really incredible standout crew that have helped us out for our sailing.
So in our Mammoth Club tradition, we want to just give them a special shout out and thank you. Right now we have our running list we keep throughout the cruise.
Yep, and we're going to pull that out and make sure we can thank them all individually. We literally keep a list of people who have been great with us. So,
also, speaking of this, while Alan pulls this up, they are going to present you a survey when you are on the cruise ship. Yes. You have to be on the Disney Wi-Fi to take it, and there is going to be a section that says, did any crew make a special memory for your family or any crew go above and beyond for you? Do this, write down the crew's name as you're going throughout the ship and literally thank them there, because that's not just a form going to nowhere. Their leaders are getting that, and
Yes.
they get raises and promotions based on that information. So if you have a wonderful server, bartender, kids club attendant, anybody, please make sure to call them out, and don't forget to do the survey before you get off the ship.
Please do that survey. It's huge for them. But let's kick it off with the folks who were incredible with us for this sailing. First of all is Vladimir, who was a bartender at Bon Voyage, the lobby bar. Just incredible. Florin, the bartender at La Piazza, he was there for our late night adventures. After we finished filming, we always have a tradition of going and just being humans for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. And La Piazza was where we went, and Florin was kind enough to serve us there and was just an awesome time there. And to Georgia and Howard from the Tube, who were both incredibly fun to chat with during the adult games we played there.
Janina, she was our attendant at the Cabanas. She was so wonderful and welcoming, and that was such a special day, and she made it even better.
Well, I have a big shout out to the entire crew at Skyline, because not only were they the bartending crew at Skyline, they also led the drink classes that we got to take part in. They were Bonnie, Feliz, and Made. All of them so incredibly kind, remembered us by name the minute we came back, even after just one class. And they were just such a fun crew.
Also, INL, our server at Palo, the service there is always top-notch, and he was no exception. A special shout out to him for checking with the chef and getting a nut-free pesto for us so Alan could enjoy the caprese.
And then, from Remy this morning, Roberto and Jean-Baptiste. Roberto was actually a server on Remy from a year ago on The Dream, and Jean-Baptiste was our sommelier, and he was just incredibly helpful.
And last but not least, Jamil at the Juice Bar, where we got our smoothies in Senses Spa. I don't know what we've been doing sleeping on the smoothie bar, but he was so kind, and he made us delicious smoothies, and he gave us ginger shots, and he was just like a nice, warming presence to talk to.
And then I just want to say a massive shout out to Kausia, who was our room host, who was just... I've
Sunshine
never,
as a person.
Like, what a incredibly positive and fun person. Like, literally day one, ran down the hallway to greet us because she saw us getting to our room and just sprinted down the hallway to make sure she said hi.
The Howl animals were incredible. Loved the sweet Valentine's Day surprise. And at one point, a light bulb went out. We didn't even say anything, and she came to us and was like, I noticed your bathroom light was out. I will have someone fix it immediately. Like, on top of it, I've never had an issue with the stateroom, not even a light bulb going out, but the fact that she fixed it right away, A+. Yeah. And then we only went to rotational dining 2 of the 4 nights, but still want to give a shout out to Bruno and Renee, who were our service team there. Lovely as always, especially handling the allergies at our table.
Yes.
So major thank you to all the cast and crew. It's cheesy, but they are what makes the magic aboard these ships, and this fantasy was no exception.
Well, now that we've done every ship on the Disney Cruise Line, let us know what you'd like to see next. Maybe different levels of room on the ships, different specialty days at sea that Disney offers.
There's Marvel Day at Sea. Or Marvel Day at Sea.
Heck yeah. Or other cruise lines, maybe. Let us know.
Maybe we go to a different place.
A different place?
Yeah, like I think there's one that goes to like the fjords.
Oh, the fjords.
Yeah,
No
or like
way.
there's like Hawaii. There's all kinds of things.
Maybe we just hit on that nice 18-day sailing from Hawaii to Australia.
Yeah, so let us know what you'd watch down in the comments. Thank you for watching all of these. It has been such a pleasure doing this series, not just on the fantasy, but all the cruise line series. Yeah. These are absolutely some of my favorite videos to make. So thank you for watching them, because this would not be possible without you.
Exactly. We know we couldn't do any of this without your support, so thank you so much. But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and please join us on Discord. We'd love to have you there. The links for all that down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it has been truly so magical.
Bye now.